Wealth, a producer's mindset. I make a lot of money, but I live off of 30% of my income. I live in a 2,300 square foot home. The people next to me are like working class, like teachers, firefighters. Like I could easily move to Atlanta and put $1 million to the side and get a mansion. I lived off 30% of my income. Why? So I could have cash when big opportunities came. All right, here's a poverty mindset. Poverty mindset is, I owe somebody and I ain't gonna pay them till I die. It's a poverty mindset. When you took out that student loan, you signed your name. Don't your name mean something to you? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of y'all got a poverty mindset. You ain't got nothing running over because you keep taking. I'm not telling you to ball out of control, but go to a restaurant and pay for somebody's meal. You got 20 bucks, even if it's just the old lady sitting there. You know she just bought a tea and a cheesecake. That's all she got. Go and cash her out. Come on, go to the gas station and pay for somebody's gas. The reason why you're not giving is because you're a consumer. That's how this country blew up. The country blows up off consumers. Just because you got it don't mean you got to spend it. And let me tell you something, when you're not healed, when you're not whole, and stuff has happened to all of us. I ain't sitting up here acting like something ain't happening. But what happens is, when you get whole, you don't have to buy stuff so that people can see you. When you get whole, you buy stuff that you need and that's useful. When you're not whole, you buy stuff so people can see you got money. When you're rich, you don't want them to know you got it. I told you, I knew Tupac wasn't a thug because he had it chatted on, he had thug life. I was like, oh, he ain't no thug. That ain't no thug. Like, no, I grew up with thugs on the west side of Detroit. I grew up with kingpins. They not announcing. They not flashing. Come on, let's go back. American Gangster, you remember how he got caught? It was the chinchilla. He never was on that before. He always kept a low profile. He always kept a nice suit on so you didn't know who he was. It was the coat and the hat that was like ding, ding. He was never on that. My boys that was killers, they weren't walking around talking about they was killers. When Pac was wearing the big bandana and doing his thing, I was like, yo, Pac ain't no real thug. You done went from is there heaven for a gangster. You done went from Brenda, keep your head up. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So you got a poverty mindset. Poverty, what others think about you, you and your feelings. So you buy with your feelings. You trying to play that, I go into a dealership, you trying to play like I can't afford it so you could pull on my feelings. I'm good with that. I didn't come in here to prove to you I had money. Only two people you need to impress. That's God and your creditors. That's it. Other than that, you don't need to be proving to nobody. You need to get out of your feelings. And the reason why they get some of y'all is because you're in your feelings. You want to prove something that already exists. I'm already in abundance. I don't need 8 million. I don't need 10 million to live. It don't take more than $1 million to live a year. I'm in abundance, so I don't have to run up behind every opportunity. That's why I'm telling you to be wealthy. You run up behind some stuff you shouldn't be doing because you are in poverty. People who are broke make desperate decisions. Are you hearing what I'm saying? When you're desperate, you make desperate moves. Find an area of your life where you're not wealthy and put all your energy on it. Relationships, get the wealthy relationships. Stop hanging out with people who ain't healthy. Unless y'all made a commitment to help them to get healthy. Does that make sense? Get your money right. Get your spiritual life right. There should be no area of your life you can't be wealthy. Why? Because he said be fruitful. Then he said multiply. Then he said have dominion. Then he said subdue. If you ain't adding value, when it's time to start letting go, you're gonna be the first one to get cut. They cutting you first. You better pray that y'all stay in abundance. But if the abundance start getting questioned, if all you doing is taking, you're the first one to go. Bruh, if you could do, oh hell, bruh. but you're not gonna add the same value I'm gonna add. Does that make sense? But if I'm not adding value, it seems like it's a cult. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? So do me a favor, get off that me, driven by your wants, the now, immediate gratification, that base childhood boy stuff. Listen to me. The stuff you was dealing with when you was 18, 19, 20, like that sexual stuff, you grown now. You 40 years old. Get some control now. You're a grown man. You ain't no kid no more. You can't be tossed and driven. You got kids now. You got kids, bruh. You still sleeping around. You got kids. You still not getting up and going to work. You got kids now. You got people looking up to you. If you wanted to play when you were single, cool. But now you done brought somebody into this world. And as a pastor, I hate when people all of a sudden now, they want to get a divorce. Y'all got kids now. You should have got a divorce before y'all had kids. Why you gonna bring somebody into this complicated mess? They don't deserve this. They didn't ask for this. You a grown man now. Don't sit here and tell me that the baby mama drama, the mama be tripping. I don't care if she tripping or not. That's your son. Go make it work. That's your daughter. Go make it work. Do whatever you got to do with homegirl. Say whatever you got to say. Give her whatever she got to get. But don't let no other man raise your doggone kids. My biological father lost the right to call me by my last name that I am. I have somebody else's name because he didn't step up. So when I write my books, it don't have my name, and people who are part of my family, they might not even know that I was their kid. Why? Because somebody didn't step up. I don't care what my wife going through. I don't care what she's expecting. They're my kids. I'm going to raise my kids. And I'm not going to raise them like she want me to raise them. I'm going to raise them to be a man. And I'm going to raise my daughter to know how to deal with men. You ain't no boy no more. This ain't no base. This ain't no, I want to go party. You've given up that right when you had kids. Hey, party's over with out of time. Got time to be partying no more. Now it's time to create a legacy now. You had your fun. Now get to work. Now build a legacy. Some of you still on that boy stuff. You talking to some people you shouldn't be talking to. You grown now. You got kids. Killer. It's over. When I was a child, when I was 18 years old, I act like that. When I was 21, I act like that. I'm 49 now. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I behaved like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Cut it off. Cut it off. Cut it off. Cut her off. So what? She gonna get attitude. Cut her off. So what? Bump your boss. Cut your boss off. Your wife needs you. Bump your boss. My son wanted to work for a sports agent. He was all geek at, I'm gonna work for them, I'm gonna get the chain. I said, the chain? The chain? You don't wear nobody else's chain. You don't wear nobody else's name. They eating off of that. Your family ain't gonna eat off of that. You gonna get a check. We building money for generations to come. You don't work for nobody else. I didn't put you in school to go give your best talent to some other man. I put you to work for this legacy. You work for your family. You don't got no options. You don't work nowhere else. You don't work for nobody else. You work for your mama. You work for your sister. You work for your aunts. You work for your grandma. You work for your family. You work for your kid. You ain't making no other man rich. Your boss don't run you. Your boss don't care about your wife and your kids. You care about your wife and kids. Do what you're supposed to do. You ain't no boy no more. You don't need their approval. You talented enough. God made you. You got everything you need. This somebody else's money. You a grown man on employment WIC. You are living off of somebody else's check when you shouldn't be living off their check, but you're so afraid to fly on your own. Stop being a boy and step into manhood. It's higher up here, but the rewards are better. There are two types of people in the world. There are people who spoil people and people who looking to get spoiled. The people who looking to get spoiled, you are dispensable. We can get rid of you. You broke because you broke. You broke because you don't add enough value. I just told you, because that's how much value I add. I came to New Orleans. I'm going out to eat. The lady at the doggone restaurant, I never been here before. I went in, the owner of the store was pissed. You sat and ate in nobody told me. They were supposed to tell me before you came. She was pissed. You already paid the bill. Brian told me that you was coming. He told me he was going to tell you. Why did he tell? She was pissed. I had so much value to the world that the owner of a restaurant that I've never met before was pissed that I paid to eat in her restaurant. Because I took the opportunity from her to be a blessing. And the dudes from the city tried to pay and I paid. They was like, how did you pay? You're not even from here. We gave her our credit card and told her don't pay. I'm like, bro, you young with it. You young on the adding value tip. You young with it. I'm a vet. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying. I could have let my man feed me every day. He's been taking us out. I could have let him feed me. He fed me once. I'm like, enough. You're not going to add more value to me, because if you add more value, you're not going to want me to be in your presence. I will fight you to add value in your life. And you're like, why you broke? Because you take. That's why you broke. You a taker.